Welcome to the Swing Clinic. I'm your host, PGA golf professional Jimmy Hanlin.
And I'm Caroline Collins. We're at Stonewater Golf Club just outside of Cleveland, and we have a lot of tips to give you today.
Oh, we do. We have some specialty tips. One for the seniors. I get all kinds of requests to be able to help seniors hit the golf ball more solid and further. And we can't leave out the ladies. I have a great tip for you women. Scott Pollock is going to join us. He's the former president of the Northern Ohio PGA and a great teacher here at Stonewater Golf Club. She's probably going to do most of the work on the show today.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, Caroline. So I get so many requests from the senior golfer on, can you help a senior golfer? How do I get better? I'm losing flexibility. Now we're asking the wrong person here because she's like 25 years old, but I'm losing flexibility. I'm losing speed. I'm losing distance. I just don't make that sound when I'm trying to hit the golf ball. So I'm going to give you, even though you're far from a senior, 3 tips that I think that'll help. And again, you play a lot with a different range of people.
I do.
Right?
Yeah, all ages. Yeah, all ages, all the time.
Yep. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you 3 basic tips that I think will help you senior players gain a little more distance and just strike the ball a little more solid, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, go ahead and set up to it. So first thing I want you to do, set up to that golf ball right there. First thing I want you to do is, it's the grip. The grip is so important here, okay? So if this is Caroline's typical golf grip and she has a good grip, okay? I'm going to take her right hand off and we're going to strengthen the grip. So we're going to turn the left hand over, keeping the thumb on the club, turning the whole forearm over and everything. So now when she looks down, she's going to be able to see at least 2 knuckles. I'd say a minimum for you senior players, at least 2 knuckles, maybe 3. Now I'm going to put her right hand on, and we're going to strengthen it too. So go ahead and put it on. Yeah, we're going to keep it under a little bit more. So let that right hand relax on there, but we're going to just barely cover that thumb. Now, why are we strengthening that grip is the question. So the reason we're doing that is if you watched Caroline take the golf club back, okay, now go ahead and take it to the top. As she comes down with a stronger grip and she gets down into impact position, this will close up a lot earlier. So as a senior player, your hands aren't going to have to be as fast to get there. The club will square up a lot quicker. So it's a lot less work, Caroline, for players to have to, not have to flip it as much with their hands and their arms. Because again, part of what happens as a senior is you lose your flexibility, you lose your speed at the bottom, and your hand and eye coordination is a little slower, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's really key. So again, as you see her do that, go ahead and go back to your regular grip. Caroline's regular grip, take it to the top, okay? As you see, when she comes down with her, she'll have fast hands, so this club's a little more open, so she's okay. She can rotate faster and rotate her forearms faster. That stronger grip is going to help a senior player do that quicker.
Absolutely.
Okay, so don't change your grip. You're not there yet. You're not a senior yet.
Hey, I'm getting older and older. I'm a lot older than when I was playing in college.
Yeah,
so,
right? Yeah, you're getting there. Okay, second thing is, seniors lose flexibility in their lower body and their ability to turn, right? So go ahead and take your normal setup. Perfect. So when you set up that way, your feet are typically pretty square, right?
Pretty square.
Okay.
Yep.
So now what I want her to do is I want her to take this back foot and I want her to flare out her toe a little bit. Again, if she does that, she's still in her regular setup, but when she turns, it's going to allow her, go ahead and turn, to have a lot more ability to get into her right side. Do you see the freedom?
It.
Now, the reason that I wouldn't do this with a regular golfer is, again, sometimes you can get too much motion back and forth and be able to move. But if you're restricted and not being able to move as much, look how she can get into her right side really easy that way, which is important. So she's able to turn a little bit more with that foot flared out, and it's going to give her the ability to get behind the golf ball. Look how well she can get behind the golf ball that way, which is really important. Feel a little more loose to you that way?
I do feel loose, and I do notice, senior golfers, their swings look short.
Right.
This is a way to really get behind the ball.
And get longer. Yeah, and get longer. It's exactly right. Last thing we're going to work on is ball position. Go ahead and set up to it, Caroline. So go with your regular setup with your square feet.
I have my 8-iron.
Yep, so 8-iron regular setup with her square feet. She's about middle ball position or maybe even a little bit forward, okay? What I would like her to do here, and I'll grab a yardage stick so you can see it, is I want her to move that ball position back just a little bit. So if you're right here, I want you to move it back just about an inch or two. There you go. So move your feet an inch or two, because the reason we're doing this now is, again, flare your foot out now. As we're flaring our foot out, we're able to get behind the ball and turn a little bit more. But again, as a senior, if you watch Caroline hit balls, she has a lot of forward motion in her golf swing because she still has that flexibility in her hips and her body. As a senior, you don't have the ability to do that as much. So now we're having that good turn, so go ahead and turn back to it. Good. You'll get to the golf ball first, and you'll hit the ball first this way. Important, right, when you're playing golf?
Absolutely.
So again, what I want to do is I want you to feel like you're getting to that golf ball first. Take your normal swing for me. Go ahead and set up to it. So again, take it to the top and stop. Now, normally she would move laterally a little bit, see, to get that position. But again, as we're seniors, we don't have the ability to have that motion. So we're going to try to stop that by moving the ball position back.
Okay.
So, all right, so 3 things. Stronger grip, show them for me.
Stronger grip.
How's that feel to you when you're a little strong?
Different.
Different, right?
Different.
Changing the grip.
I'm wondering how my shot would go with it.
Yeah, we're going to find out in a few minutes.
But I can see how it would help, other seniors.
Flare the foot out a little bit. Good, good. Now she's gonna be able to turn a little bit more. Move that ball position back about an inch for me, all right?
Move it back
yes,
a little
move
bit
it back.
more.
There you go, right there. Those 3 things right there. We're gonna turn Caroline into a senior for just a second. Good. Now, as you can see with Caroline, that's a lot more motion that you have, right? Feels different for you.
That almost felt like I was opening way up over here. But how good would that be for somebody who doesn't have flexibility anymore?
That's exactly right. All right, we come back on the Swing Clinic. More great tips. We're going to squeeze one in for you ladies, too, right after the break.
Welcome back to the Swing Clinic. You just gave us some tips for senior golfers, and now he has some tips for us lady golfers. Now, these are tips that your average woman golfer would need to learn because women typically, and I've even noticed it playing in college, they don't hit down on the ground enough. They don't take those big divots like you see some of the tour players taking. And it seems like that's something women struggle with, and that's really necessary to hit a good, solid iron shot.
Yeah, if you want to compress iron shots, Caroline, you have to be able to hit the ball first and then hit the ground. Now, it doesn't count if you hit behind the golf ball. Now, that's no good. But if you hit the golf ball first, then you take a divot afterwards. That allows you to compress the golf ball. Number 1, that's allowing you to use the actual loft on your golf club on your iron, and that's how it was made to be hit. So if you're not taking a divot, you're probably scooping it up in the air, right? And when that happens, you're turning an 8 iron into maybe a pitching wedge, and that's why it's not going as far. And I hear that a lot from women is I just can't hit my irons far enough, and that's a lot of the reason.
And sometimes, you said scooping it up, but sometimes shots don't get off the ground when you're not taking that big divot. So you got these low shots, and those just aren't shots that you want to hit.
Yeah, and that's kind of from the same reason too. So go ahead and set up to one. I'm gonna have you set up to a golf ball. So again, the key and what we really want to happen is if you take it to the top, Caroline, and start to come down, the key is that, we want Caroline to come into a position where she hits the golf ball first, then hits the ground afterwards. Well, one thing you have to be able to do is you have to be able to hit the ground. And so a lot of the ladies don't feel like they want to hit the ground. So I have a great drill for you. Go ahead and set up. Take your normal grip, now take your right hand off. So now what I want to do is go ahead and take your right hand, and I want you just to cover your left hand all the way. So both of them are together. So you're gripping the golf club together like this. The reason we're doing this is we're taking control out of this back arm right here. This back arm is what causes us to eventually scoop because our left arm goes like this, our right arm goes like this, and when we're not hitting down through the golf ball, that's the position that we get in right here. So what I want you to do is we put our hands together like this, it'll take control out of this hand, give this arm a little more control, and it'll allow us to feel like it's a lot easier to hit the ground. So go ahead and feel that right there. Good. All the way back. Let me see some full swings. I know it feels weird.
Woo!
Oh, it's hard.
Oh man,
Hold on both hands, but
hard.
no, don't sneak it down there.
I know.
Now you can cover. You can put your hands together and cover. There we go.
Okay.
And hold it together that way. So just cover that hand. Yep, good. Take it, good. Yeah, see, do it again.
See,
it's really easy, isn't it, to hit the ground because you can't control the club. Good.
There we go.
Do it again. Hands complete. No, don't sneak that right hand down. There you go. I'm not letting her cheat, everybody. Good, good.
Oh, that one was good.
You can actually hit golf balls, and believe me, this is Caroline's first time, so it's probably not going to go good, but the key is for her to hit the ground. So go ahead and do that.
With that grip?
With that grip. I want to see it. Yep. All the way up. Good. Cover it up. Good. Good. See how you hit the ground there first?
I did.
So the key, let me grab your club right here. The key for Caroline is she can't control the golf club with that back hand if it's over top here. So it's hard, right?
That was a weird feeling.
Yeah.
But it helped.
It will, for sure. All right, when we come back, we're going to have a special guest. Former president of the Northern Ohio PGA. He's a great teacher. Scott Pollock joins us here on the Swing Clinic.
Welcome back to the Swing Clinic. Got rid of Jimmy for a couple minutes and brought in his friend, PGA golf professional Scott Pollock. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you are a golf professional for 30 years. You were former president of the Northern Ohio PGA
Correct.
section, so you know what you're doing.
Well, I'd like to think so on most occasions.
Well, we're gonna start where the swing all begins, and that's with the setup. That's one of the most important things about the golf swing, I think, that some people overlook.
Absolutely, the setup is so critical. I mean, a quality setup gives you an opportunity to make a good swing. So many times we're so ill prepared before we get into the golf ball, and so many of our full swing errors are rooted right into what happens at our setup. So very oftentimes overlooked. But one of my biggest pet peeves, though, is when people I call it the bend our knees, keep our head down syndrome. Your dad, a golf professional, your coach,
He is.
well instructed, but a lot of dads and other armchair coaches are not.
Right, because who else is around to teach you except for your family members, loved one, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband.
Sure.
They're not PGA golf professionals, so you have an iron in your hand, and you're going to show us what we might see, right?
Sure. So you go to any driving range around, lovely Stillwater here or wherever you should be, and if you happen to see, again, the bend our knees, keep our head person, you're going to see this. Okay. How's that
He's
look?
not lying. I've seen people set up like this
Okay.
on the driving range and on the course.
My
You don't
knees are
stand a
bent.
chance.
My knees are bent, my head are down, but how am I going to make a good golf
You
swing
can't.
from that
Your
position?
chin's in the way, and you look just totally not athletic.
Exactly. So how are we going to fix that? Pretty simple. Again, approach the golf ball, get the club in position, approach the golf ball from a nice standing position, knees, straight but not locked. Find where your hip sockets are, a little tilt from your hips. Again, get that backside out a little bit, slight flex of the knees, and right where your arms just naturally hang, okay, nice and relaxed. That's where we're gonna hold that golf club, right there. And that's the proper position I should be from the golf ball.
And it
So I
should look
need to-
natural. You look natural to
No
me in this
tension,
position.
no tension, not out here, not scrunched in there. There's an acceptable range to be within. Again, just find that. Again, if it feels like you're way too far out or your hands are kind of getting caught up in here, something's probably gotten off in that setup position.
Absolutely. So what about the setup with a longer club like your driver? I mean, how does that differ from the iron?
Sure, great question. So as I grab my driver here, again, from my posture standpoint, I'm going to keep that same posture. So again, tilt from my hips, let my arms just hang. Again, so if I'm holding that 9-iron, I'm going to be right here. If I'm holding the driver, my body's going to be in that same position. But the key is the golf ball is not on the ground anymore. It's in the air. So some different dynamics have to happen here to be able to launch the ball properly, hit it on the way up to achieve our maximum efficiency in the strike. So to be able to accomplish this, we're gonna have to take our sternum, get ourselves approximately 4 to 5 inches behind the golf ball to start with, okay? So we're gonna set up behind the ball, get further behind the ball, and stay behind the ball. And what that's going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to have the bottom of the swing arc to occur right in this area here. So approximately 4, 5, even 6 inches behind the golf ball. From that being the low point forward, the club is actually coming up as we achieve the impact area, and that gives us our proper launch.
That high, pretty looking drive that we see on tour, right?
Absolutely. We see that TrackMan or that tracer information on TV there. We got to launch it up there in that 11, 12, or 14, even as high as 14 degree range. And that's what puts us into, again, maximizing your driver that you have and your swing speed. There's a setup well behind the ball. We're going to get further behind it and stay behind it.
When we return, Jimmy's going to be back with us with some more tips. Look who's back with us here on the Swing Clinic. Hey, Jimmy. Ditched you
Typical.
for a minute.
She dumps me. Now she wants me back again. See how that all works?
I know, but I need you. I need you for the takeaway.
Yeah, and takeaway in the golf swing is really important. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that when you take the golf club away and you do it improperly, your golf swing could be perfect after that, but you're never going to get into the position that we need you to get into. So, Caroline, I want you to set up over to golf ball. We're going to show them the wrong way first. So what happens typically with golfers is, again, I see golf tension is bad. And when you have tension in your hands and your arms, you usually take it away with your arms first and you don't let your body move. So see how she's taking her arms away and her body's still there. What happens when that happens is the club gets stuck behind you. It's really far in here. So for her to make contact here, the only way to get that club back to the golf ball is she's going to throw it over the top. She's going to hit behind it, get the chicken wing going like she just showed you, and just get you in trouble. So a proper takeaway. And folks, let me tell you, I work on this in my golf swing. PGA Tour players work on in their golf swing. It's all syncing up your arms and your body to make it work, right? It's very, very important. So flip around. I got this. This is just a typical hole sign that we would use at a golf outing for a sponsorship, right? So I just use this to be able to show there's so many things that you can use at home to do that. So I want Caroline to sit up to the golf ball, and we have this hole sign here. The key to this for Caroline is that she's putting the butt of the golf club right on this sign right here. So as she's about, now she probably has about a foot as she takes the golf club away, and she's gonna keep the butt of the club up against this. Now, there you go, good. As she turns away, you'll see the club's going back a little bit more straight. The head of the club is staying outside the hands. So as she turns it back now to this point, good. She's in a good position from here. Now from there, when she starts back, I really want her to kind of go back on down on that same line. Good. So the golf club will come back in that same position, get her in a position to hit the golf ball first. Most of the time, what happens, again, if you get it too far inside or too far outside, yeah, we have problems. So let's do it again. Set up to it. Does that feel way different than your normal takeaway?
Well, this is something that I practice, but earlier today, I was going way out.
Yeah,
so,
just because you hadn't worked on it in a while, right? You haven't felt.
This is
so again, we're keeping it there.
Close.
Good. See how, again, two keys right here. She's got the club going back kind of in a straight pattern, but also from here, that club head's not wheeling inside and getting stuck behind her. So she's in a real good position from there. There, all she does from there is just turn her shoulders to the top, and she's in a real good spot. So takeaway is just so important to get you in a bad spot. That's tough to get to that position right there.
It is, but it should go right back on the same plane.
Right back on the same plane. I mean, really, with really good players, you'll see they'll actually come over a little bit. Their plane will be a little outside that original plane when you take the golf club back. So, but this is all feedback, folks. This is feedback to be able to do this. But you could find anything to set up to like Caroline has right here, to get that feeling of that first foot getting in this position. The first foot of the golf swing can get you in trouble, or it can put you in a position to where you're just gonna take off and go in the right direction. What do you think?
You would never think that it could cause so many problems to have a bad takeaway. Just so much bad stuff can happen if you're not taking it away like this.
You gotta be able to start that car to get the engine going to be able to drive away, right? So this is just starting the car, taking away. When we come back, I've got a great short game tip, and I'm gonna help you hit these tough wedges on these tight lies.
Welcome back. We're at Stonewater Golf Club, and Jimmy, we're going to finish up the show with some good short game tips.
Well, when you get on the swing clinic, we have to cover everything, We've covered a lot today. So tight fairways. The range here is actually in really good shape at Stonewater, so it gives you that feeling of hitting it off like those really tight fairways.
Tight lies are difficult for a lot of people to hit off of.
Chipping kills me. I'm going to tell you, I've been a golf pro for more years than I'm going to tell you right now, and chipping around the greens off these tight fairways, the more that I get a little older, the more I get nervous about it, and I struggle with it bad, okay? Teaching professional here, Bob Bourne, has been here for a long time at Stonewater. He's one of the best in the country. He works with me on it. That's how bad I have to take golf lessons on this stuff, so I'm going to pass it on to you. It's like passing on knowledge in the world, okay? So go ahead and set up to it. So typically what we'll see here is that when we're working on chipping, and let's go this way a little bit more. When we're working on chipping with a short shot, we want to get not a lot of body movement going on, right? We just want to hit this just right over this little hill in this direction. So let's get our feet a little bit closer together, and let's get just so we're not moving as much, okay? Second thing that happens, take it back, Caroline. So what we'll see is you get the club to right here, and you get in panic mode, right? You're like, oh, I got to get this thing up in the air. Oh my gosh, everybody's watching. Oh, what am I going to do? So you get that little right hand going, and you just stick it right in the ground, and it gets very steep, right? You get steep. Or for me, what I do is I'm always trying to keep my hands in front because I want to make sure I hit the ball first, right? So I don't chunk it. And when I do that, I get steep and the club digs, right? So the wedge is made, right, to bounce off the ground for you and help you. So we all know that, the bounce of the wedge. I've talked about it on the show a lot on how we can make it work. I have a drill for you that's going to help you allow that bounce to work, okay? So what I want you to do is hold on to the golf club just like you're getting ready to hit one, okay? Good. Take your left hand off. Not joking, left hand, there we go. Hold it right-handed. I'm going to move the golf ball for you. I'm not going to allow you to use it. I want you to take short little pitch swings, and I want to hear the thud at the bottom. I want to hear the back of the golf club hitting the ground and hitting the grass. So take me some practice swings. Make that thud. A little bit more. Let them swing. Good. And again. There you go. Good. See how you're not digging? You're bouncing? Good. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a golf ball in there.
Oh, boy.
Dun, dun, dun. We're going to set a golf ball down. And now let's start with some short ones. Just some nice swings. And again, The reason this one-handed thing works is because we're not controlling it or squeezing it. She's not strong enough to really make that club work that way with just one hand, so she's just allowing it to swing. So just allow it to swing. Try it again, one more time.
Now, where's the ball positioned? In the middle of
just
my
like you would with your chip shot. Yeah,
Okay.
right around middle. Good, good. And the key, Caroline, here is what happens is your transition gets better. So take it back. Again, so your transition, if you're just allowing the club to swing, will just slow down and go from here. So now how do we control distance? Same as we would in a pitch. Let's just get a little bit longer, but let the same thing happen. Get that nice transition right here. Let the swing get a little longer. Real good. Heard a little bit of a thud at the bottom
Yeah,
right
that
there.
thud, that nice crisp sound. That's
Yep.
what you want when you chip.
And it's just a drill. Okay, it's just a drill. We're hitting those nice long pitches and chips with that drill. But again, eventually you'll put your other hand on, but you have the same feeling. You'll feel the weight of the golf club because it's just nice tempo, and we're allowing, we want to hear that thud hitting the ground.
It's
Right?
that tempo, it's that being lighter, a little
Yep.
bounce I had going on.
Yep.
That's what I need.
That's
I
exactly.
get too stiff.
Yep, perfect. Well, hey, we want to thank Scott Pollock for joining us today on the show. He was great. You guys booted me for a minute, but it worked out good.
We did, but he gave us some great tips. We're glad to have you back.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. And we worked with the ladies a little bit, the seniors. So great show. Thanks to you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks to all of you for joining us today on the Swing Clinic.